This is a Scottish story, The Hag of Winter, and how the Hag of Winter was defeated. In the beginning, the hag, the Cailleach, if anybody can speak Gaelic, I do apologise for my appalling pronunciation. In the beginning, the Hag of Winter had a heavy basket on her back with rocks and stones, and she waded her way through the sea. And after some time, she took the basket off her back and tipped it up. And so the rocks became the islands that surround Scotland, and the stone. She took her great mallet and formed all the stones into the land of Scotland. But it was always dark, it was always cold, it was always winter, it was always snow and always ice, and nothing grew. But the hag gave birth to her own ending. For the hag had a son, and his name was Angus Og. And he had the power of summer. And it was Angus' destiny to marry Breed, for she was the embodiment of springtime. And after some time, of course, the hag could no longer control her son, and he began to question her. But the hag found Breed, found Angus' lover, found the flower of springtime. And she hid Breed inside a hollow mountain where she was guarded by the storm hags, for the storm hags were old women with tusks for teeth and one grey eye each. But the Hag of Winter had a cruel streak, and she knew that despair is a terrible thing, but what is worse than despair is hope which can never be fulfilled. So the hag gave Breed a dirty, matted brown fleece. And every day she sent Breed out to the stream to wash the fleece until it became white. And during the day, Breed was guarded by the storm hags as they sat on their shaggy goats, and every day she washed and washed and washed the fleece and washed out as much of the dirt as she could, even though it made her hands red and raw and cold and swollen. And every day she dreamed of a way of letting her lover Angus know where she was. And after 100 days, Breed saw, growing by the side of the stream, a little white flower, beautiful white flower, an emblem of peace, an emblem of hope, an emblem of better times to come. And she picked the little white flower. When she went back to the Hollow Mountain that evening, and when she was called before the Winter Hag, who mocked her, because yet again she had failed to wash the fleece so that it was white, Breed said, "This fleece will never be white, for this fleece comes from a brown sheep. It will always be brown. I have seen white. I have seen the beauty and purity of white." And the hag said, "Of course you have. You have seen my snow." And Breed, springtime, said, "I have seen something better than that. I have seen this. I have seen a snowdrop." And at that, the storm hag knew that her reign was coming to an end, that her son was returning. And so for some time, Angus and Brede fought the winter hag, and they fought the storm hag. And on the days when Angus and Brede were winning, snowdrops began to grow. The sun shone. Life returned to the earth. And on the days when the winter hag seemed to be winning, there were frosts that killed off the new growth. And this carried on for a little while. But of course, the storm hags and the winter hag were so depleted and so tired that they gave in. And the winter hag took her mallet and hid it under a holly bush. And this is why nothing ever grows under a holly bush. And the hag herself went to sleep and slept for a very long time. And so Angus, with his flaming red hair, brought the sun and the summer and the crops and the trees and the breeze and the birds to the land. But of course, at the autumn equinox, the winter hag wakes up and she finds her mallet. And of course, the cold and the dark and the frost and the ice and the snow return to the land once more until the next spring. And so the dance carries on every year. The thing about I really like this story because I really like the thing about the white fleece. And what I have here, this is someone gave me a bag of fleece a few years ago, and it was a bag of random sheep's breeds, the different breeds. None of them are white. These are all. There's a difference between rare breeds. Rare breeds are just rare. They often have horns. Primitive breeds, things like Hebridean, which is probably what black is, and Soes, often considerably more intelligent than the more domesticated breeds of sheep. So you didn't know this was going to be so educational, did you? But there you are. Not all sheep's fleece is white. Some of it's black, some of it's grey, some of it's brown, and you can have quite a lot of fun playing different colours of sheep's fleece together. There we are. That's great. So snowdrops are of course wonderful, symbol of Imbolc, February, the very beginnings of spring. Do plant them because snowdrops are absolutely fabulous for sort of the early insects. That end of winter, beginning of spring, when the winter hag is going back to sleep again, it's a very difficult time for a lot of insects, particularly honeybees. So give them a helping hand and plant snowdrops and crocuses, and help send the winter hag back to sleep. Lovely. More winter stories coming up, and hope to see you again soon.